I hope you enjoyed today's scary stories. Consider liking to support the channel and subscribe for more daily videos. Stay sleepless. As an avid reader and writer, I always sought solitude in our family's old cabin nestled deep within the woods. It was a perfect writer's retreat, and the creaky attic became my haven of inspiration. Late one evening, as I sat engrossed in my novel, I heard faint whispers echoing from above. At first I dismissed it as the wind playing tricks on my mind, but the murmurs grew louder and more distinct. Curiosity gnawed at me, urging me to investigate. Slowly I climbed the rickety attic ladder and pushed open the creaking door. The dim light from my reading lamp barely illuminated the eerie space, filled with forgotten belongings. As I stepped further inside, the whispers seemed to intensify, as if beckoning me closer. My heart pounded in my chest, yet an inexplicable pull drew me towards a dusty old chest in the corner. Hesitantly, I reached out to touch it, and the whispers crescendoed into a haunting symphony. The lid of the chest burst open with a sudden jolt, and to my horror, an ethereal figure emerged from within. A ghostly woman, dressed in a tattered gown, her eyes devoid of warmth, stared back at me. Her voice, barely audible, spoke of a tragic tale of love and loss, revealing that she had been locked away in the attic by her own family centuries ago. Paralyzed with fear, I listened to her sorrowful tale of betrayal and despair. She yearned for release, to be free from the attic's eternal embrace. As the night wore on, I became entranced by her story, torn between sympathy and terror. But as the first rays of dawn peeked through the attic window, the ghostly apparition began to fade away, her whispers fading into the ether. I was left trembling, unsure if it had been a haunting or a figment of my imagination. Since that night, I no longer find solace in the attic, and the haunting whispers still echo in my dreams, a constant reminder of the ghostly encounter that forever changed me. I sought answers from local historians and discovered the tragic tale of Elizabeth Ravenswood, a young woman from a noble family who fell in love with a commoner. Her family disapproved of the match, locking her away in the attic to prevent the forbidden love. Elizabeth's spirit never found peace, her whispers echoing through the generations. As I delved deeper into the attic's history, I uncovered letters exchanged between Elizabeth and her lover, revealing a love that transcended time and space. Determined to help her find peace, I began a spiritual journey to release her from the confines of the attic. Through seances and paranormal investigations, I made contact with Elizabeth's spirit. Guided by a medium, we conducted a ritual to release her from the attic's grasp. The air crackled with energy, and Elizabeth's presence grew stronger until finally she was free. A sense of peace washed over the attic, and the haunting whispers subsided. I could feel Elizabeth's gratitude as her spirit ascended to a higher plane, finally finding the love and freedom she had longed for. Now, the attic is no longer a place of fear and mystery. Instead, it has become a sanctuary, a tribute to Elizabeth's undying love, and a reminder that some spirits seek solace and understanding, not fear and isolation. Inheriting my childhood home after my parents' passing brought a bittersweet mix of nostalgia and sorrow. As I settled into the old Victorian house, I felt drawn to explore every nook and cranny, including the mysterious attic, which had always been off-limits to me as a child. One rainy afternoon, I decided to venture up to the attic, my footsteps echoing in the narrow stairwell. Dust and cobwebs greeted me as I pushed open the attic door. Among the forgotten items lay an ornate, dusty painting covered with a cloth. Intrigued, I pulled away the covering and gasped at the sight before me. The painting depicted a beautiful woman with haunting eyes and an enigmatic smile. It seemed to radiate an otherworldly aura, and I couldn't help but feel a strange connection to the woman in the portrait. As days passed, I found myself drawn to the attic, almost hypnotized by the painting's allure. One night, I decided to bring the portrait down to my room, believing it would inspire my writing. However, as I lay in bed with the painting propped against the wall, I noticed something unsettling. The woman's eyes seemed to follow me, and the smile on her lips seemed to shift, as if concealing a dark secret. Her gaze felt invasive, and an unshakable feeling of unease washed over me. Desperate to escape her watchful eyes, I returned the painting to the attic the next morning, vowing never to bring it back. But as nights went on, I couldn't resist the pull of the painting. I'd find myself sleepwalking to the attic, drawn to the portrait like a moth to a flame. Each night, the woman's presence felt more palpable, as if she were reaching out to me from within the canvas. One night, as I stood before the painting, her lips seemed to move, and a soft voice whispered, "Join me, and together we'll roam these halls forever." Terror consumed me as I rushed downstairs, vowing never to return to the attic again. But the painting's allure proved too strong to resist. Even when I tried to lock the attic door, I'd wake up in the middle of the night, the door wide open, the woman's beckoning gaze calling me back. As I write this, I fear I may never escape the enchantment of the attic, forever bound to the woman in the painting, her haunting presence a reminder that some secrets should remain locked away. After inheriting my grandmother's old house, I decided to move in, hoping to relive the cherished memories of my childhood visits. The house had an attic, which my grandmother had warned me never to enter. Intrigued by the mystery, I couldn't resist the temptation to explore. Late one night, I made my way to the attic with a flashlight in hand. As I ascended the creaky stairs, I heard faint whispers, as if the house itself was warning me to turn back. But curiosity won, and I pushed open the attic door. The attic was a dusty time capsule, filled with vintage furniture and mementos from bygone days. I felt a sense of nostalgia mingled with a strange unease. Among the relics, I discovered an old journal, its pages yellowed with age. As I read through it, I learned of a tragic love story from the past, one that ended in heartbreak and sorrow. Lost in the haunting tale, I didn't notice the attic's atmosphere shifting around me. The whispers grew louder, and I felt an icy chill in the air. The flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. I tried to leave, but the door seemed to be stuck, as if the attic didn't want to release me. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me, the distinct sound of soft, echoing footsteps. My heart raced as I turned around to see a faint figure in the distance. A woman dressed in an old-fashioned gown, her face obscured by darkness. Terrified, I tried to scream, but no sound escaped my lips. The ghostly figure continued to approach, her footsteps growing louder with each step. The air felt heavy with sorrow, and I could sense the pain and longing emanating from her presence. As she drew nearer, I caught a glimpse of her tear-filled eyes, filled with a haunting sadness that touched my soul. Without a word, she reached out her hand, as if seeking comfort or forgiveness. Summoning all my courage, I managed to break free from the attic's grip, rushing downstairs in a panic. The whispers followed me, their haunting echoes lingering in my mind. Since that night, the attic remains locked, and I dare not venture there again. But the ghostly encounter left me with a profound understanding. The past may be buried, but its echoes can never be silenced. Determined to help Eliza find peace, I embarked on a quest to break the curse and release her spirit. Consulting with a local medium, we performed a seance in the attic, creating a bridge between the living and the spirit world. As the seance began, the attic filled with an ethereal glow, and a soft voice emerged from the shadows. It was Eliza, her presence palpable as she communicated her longing for liberation. With the medium's guidance, I reached out to Eliza's spirit, promising to fulfill her wish. We recited an ancient incantation, calling upon the power of love and forgiveness. The air crackled with energy, and the atmosphere shifted as if the past and present merged into one. In that moment, I felt a profound connection with Eliza, as if her soul recognized my sincerity. The attic door swung open, the curse finally broken. Eliza's spirit was free at last, her ghostly form dissipating into the night. As the attic fell silent, I knew that I had fulfilled my purpose. The whispers were gone, replaced by a sense of peace and closure. Eliza's story was no longer shrouded in mystery, and her spirit could finally rest in eternal tranquility. Since that night, the attic has become a place of reverence, a memorial to Eliza's tragic tale, and a reminder that the echoes of the past can find solace when met with compassion and understanding. Hey everyone, if you enjoyed today's scary stories, consider subscribing and dropping a like on the video. If you have any ideas for what stories you would want to hear next, feel free to drop a comment below. Stay sleepless.